Hi, I'm Billy Casper. The few minutes that we spend together may be very beneficial to your golf game.
Billy Casper. The name is synonymous with great golf. A 30-year professional. Appropriately honored when he was inducted into the PGA Hall of Fame in 1982. Winner of 51 PGA Tour events, including the Masters and 2 U.S. Opens. He was the 5th all-time money winner in 1979 when he stopped playing regularly on the tour. Always working on his game, he won the 1983 U.S. Seniors Open. And now, Billy brings a lifetime of experience to this golf video, and does so in his own inimitable style.
After playing golf for some 45 years, I've had the opportunity to learn many of the fundamentals of each shot, and that is what we will try to encompass and bring to you in your own home today. There are times when one plays a round of golf that a hook is required. Hitting around a tree where the pin is placed in the left-hand side of the green, you need to draw the ball in or hook it. What we do is do 3 things. Number 1, we roll the left hand from the normal position here to a spot there. The right hand from a normal position there, and it comes under the club. This is what is called a hook grip or a power grip. We close the stance, bringing the right foot back, and then as we swing the club, we swing it back on the inside and we bring it out and over and around. That creates your hook. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. I'll be aiming at the right-hand trap and turning the ball back toward the green. I'd take that one any day. The slice. Again, you might be in the rough behind a tree and you have to go from left to right. The pin's placed on the right side of the green and you just sort of slide it in on the pin, aiming a little left. How do you do it? Well, first of all, you weaken your left hand. From a normal grip, you roll the left hand the left side, and you bring the right hand up on top. That weakens the grip. Now you open your stance. The left foot is withdrawn, a la Lee Trevino, and then you take the club a little on the outside, bringing it down and across. And another thing that can help, instead of placing the club on the ground this way, if you open the club just a little bit. That looked like Trevino. Exactly. The high shot over a tree, over a sand trap, to a flag that's cut very close to the edge of the green. Open the stance, play the ball forward in the stance, fan the blade of the club open a little. The weight is on the right side and you hit off the right foot, staying down to the ball, but actually hitting up on it. That's the greatest shot I ever hit here. The low shot. The shot that is played out from under a tree. The ball is kept low, hits short and runs up. How do you play it? Well, you must play the ball back in your stance. The ball must be played toward the right foot, the weight on the left side. And when you swing the club, it's very important that you work very quickly with the hands, because if you don't, you'll leave the blade open in this manner and you'll hit what is called a lateral or a pitch out. Some people call it a shank, but we don't. Weight forward, ball toward the right foot, about a 3/4 swing. Just can't believe it. The downhill lie. There are basic fundamentals which one employs to hit this shot that makes it a very easy shot. I've selected a very interesting club. It's called the Callaway Hickory Stick. It's a wedge. Actually, it's called the Billy Bouncer. Play the ball back toward the right foot, because you are on a downhill lie with the ground sloping from high here down this way. You must play the ball back in your stance toward your right foot. You must place your weight on your right side, because as you swing through the ball, it has a tendency to fall with the gravity. But when that happens, it'll cause you to come over the ball and create a bad shot. So as you swing the club, make sure you keep your weight back on your right side. And as I swing the club, I try to make the club go with the slope of the ground, hitting down and through the ball. Gee, it looked like I knew what I was doing. It seems that when one plays a hilly golf course, he always winds up with an uphill lie, where the ball is on a hill. Gives a lot of people a lot of trouble. Again, there are some basic fundamentals that will enable you to play this shot consistently. Always take a little more club, because the ball is going higher in the air. Play the ball forward in your stance, almost up to your left heel. Your weight, try to keep it on the left foot. Try to keep the weight on the left foot, because the tendency as you swing the club is to fall back. So get your weight on the left foot to start out with. Now, aim a little to the right of the hole, because as you fall back, when you make your swing, you're going to automatically pull the ball. So with that in mind, play it forward, aim a little to the right of your target. Oh, what a pretty thing. Get right in there close. Oh, that a baby. The Sidehill shot, where the ball is approximately 5 to 6, 7 inches higher than your feet. Aim to the right, because the natural tendency is to fall back and pull the shot. Play the ball about the middle of the stance. Take one club less than what you normally would use, and make a smooth swing. Oh, is that good? Ooh, ooh. Well, you got one of those lies, Bob. One of those dreaded downhill, sidehill lies. The dread of most golfers, including myself. This is one of the most difficult shots in the game of golf, where the ball is below your feet. And this shot is even compounded because we're shooting to an island green with the water surrounding the green. It requires a lot of nerve to play this shot. First of all, I use pretty much of a square stance, and I have to bend my knees a little bit, so that a little more than what I normally bend them, simply because the ball is lower than my feet. And that enables me to sort of sit down and stay over the ball. Now, I've taken one more club than I normally would use on this shot, and I'm going to try to make a smooth swing, and I'm going to aim at the left side of the green, because when the ball's below your feet, it has a tendency to work to the right. Remember that. The ball below your feet, it has a tendency to go to the right. Okay, we'll try to hit it. Japers, look at that one. That's better than I know how. Right on the green. I'll take it every time. Well, Bob, now we're going to go over to the green and we'll do some chipping and putting and some sand play and some pitching. And also some fishing. These little pitch shots are so important in helping a person score. If you learn some basic fundamentals with this shot, it can be very helpful to you. I have selected a Callaway hickory stick. Actually, it's called a bouncer, named after me, a Billy Bouncer. And this is a very unique club in that it has a hickory shaft, but within the hickory shaft, it has a steel core. And what it does is it tends to make the club stiffer, and I've been a firm believer that the stiffer the shaft, the better it is in pitching clubs and putters, simply because when you get there with your hands, you want the club head there also. And this combination is just outstanding, and the fluid feel is outstanding also. I've really enjoyed these hickory sticks. Now, what we're doing with this little pitch shot, you can see the ball's sitting in the high grass. I'm opening my stance. I'm going to play the ball forward, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the blade of the club a little, fan it open, and using a smooth, unhurried stroke, allowing the club to lift the ball up in the air. I'm not forcing it up with my hands or anything. We've just finished with the pitch over the sand trap. Now we have plenty of green to work with. The flag is positioned back in the green. We have a little wind we're going into. We're sitting here on the fairway. What I do is I use still the Billy Bouncer, and I play the shot back in my stance. What I'm trying to do is carry it right on the front edge of the green and let it skip and skid and roll right down to the hole. Let's see if we can do that. I use more of a descending blow here, mainly because I'm trying to take loft off the face of the club. By playing the club back, I'm taking loft off of it toward my right foot. And I'm just going to use just a smooth little punch stroke. That's a sure birdie. Gee, was that good. The chip shot. As we miss the green just off the fringe, we have to learn to chip the ball. If we're in the heavy grass, I suggest you chip it, but if you're on the fringe where the grass is cut very closely, I suggest that you putt it, because it's easier to putt. You know you're going to make contact with a putter, so therefore all you have to do is worry about the distance. So when you're chipping, you have loft on the club, so it becomes a little more difficult. But here I've rolled off the green to where I'm in the heavy grass, and it'd be very difficult to putt this shot. So what I do is I take a club that I can carry the fringe of the green, in other words, from here to about here. Then I let the ball roll as if it were a putt. And the closer I am to the green, the less loft I use. The further from the green, the more loft. I have a very short shot here. I have a 9-iron. All I'm going to do is just try to tap it, carry it over the fringe, let it roll to the hole. Now I play the ball way back in my stance toward my right toe, simply because I'm taking loft off the club, and when the ball hits the green, it's going to roll as if it were a putt. That's not too bad. The short sand shot is a very, very simple shot, provided you understand the fundamentals. Number one, as you walk into the trap, you open your stance as if you were pointing your belt buckle to the hole. The stance is open. The reason for this is that it enables you to pick the club a little on the outside and bring it down and through and across the ball. The next thing is to fan the blade open. Aim a little bit to the left of where you're going. Take the club up, bring it down, try to hit about 2 inches in back of the ball in the sand, and carry on through with the left hand and the left arm. Just pick it up and drop it like that. Don't go in the hole, we'd hate that. The long sand shot is a more difficult shot because you have to swing fuller. With a short sand shot, it's a very short swing. As you get further from the flag, you have to hit the ball harder. You still employ the same fundamentals in opening up the stance, and because you're hitting the ball further, you use a wider stance, which anchors you in more over the ball. The ball is still played slightly forward. The ball now is positioned about, a few inches in back of your left heel. And the club is still fanned open. And you reach for the ball just a little more on the longer shot. Still taking the club on the outside and bringing it down and across. See how easy it is? The fried egg or the buried lie. The dread of most players. When they arrive in the sand trap, there the ball is in a fried egg. Here again, it becomes an easy shot with the proper fundamentals. This shot you play as if you're playing a shot from the fairway with a closed or a stance that is square. Instead of fanning the club open on other trap shots, you close the blade of the club. And what you try to do is you try to hit down and through the ball with a descending blow, catching the sand just behind the ball and carrying through with the left arm and the left hand. The ball will just pop out to the edge of the green and run down to the hole. Now, oh, what a good shot that was. The 4-foot putt. The stroke here counts just as much as a 250-yard drive. But if you can make it in one shot and not two, it saves you a stroke. I use a mallet head putter. It also is a Callaway hickory stick putter. Like the wedge, it has the hickory shaft with a steel core center. And I find it has a very fine feel, and particularly on very fast greens, it gives you a touch and a feel where it feels like you're gripping the ball and that you have more control over it. Now what I have here is this 4-footer, and I think that when you practice your putting, it's very important that you practice about 2/3 of your time from 4 feet in, because these are the putts that you're faced with most of the time. It's good to practice long putts, but only devote about 1/3 of the time to long putts. The short putt, what I try to do is I try to position myself over the ball where the ball is about 2 inches from my left heel back in the stance. The weight is evenly distributed. My head and my hands are right over the ball. The blade of the club is square to my intended line, which I wish to hit the ball. And what I try to do is I try to take a few little practice swings. I try to keep the putter low to the ground and a very smooth backswing and accelerate as you're going through the ball. And on the shorter putts, I use more of a tap stroke than a follow-through. And that's how to save a shot. The long putt. As we covered the short putt, we said that 2/3 of your time should be spent on practicing the short putt. The long putt is very important to try to get the ball close to the hole. Don't try to make them all, but get it within a 2-foot circle. And we've represented that here by a number of golf balls around the hole. This is a good way to practice, to have a circle of balls around the hole about 2 feet out from the hole. And what you're trying to do is to lag this ball that you're playing from about 40 feet within that 2-foot circle. Then it's easy to get those 2-footers in most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. Now, still position the ball about 2 to 3 inches in back of the left heel. The weight is evenly distributed. The same fundamentals are used in the short putt, with the exception of the stroke. Where it's a tap stroke with a short putt, it's more of a long stroke with the putter on the long putt. That completely encircled the hole. The game of golf, what a great game it is. You know, you can play it when you're 4.5. That's when I started playing, or when you're 90. If you're physically able to play. I know people that are at that age that still play. You learn more about an individual on a golf course in 4 hours than you do dealing with that same individual for weeks over a desk. It teaches man character, builds your character, it builds your confidence. It affords you an opportunity to relax in the tranquility of the golf course. I often tell people if you gain an ulcer from playing golf or a headache, you might as well turn professional. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the fellowship that I experience with my fellow professionals and with the amateurs that I come in contact with. And I must say that having the opportunity to be in your home, to visit with you about something that I dearly love, the game of golf, is a great pleasure for me. And I hope that the hour that we spent together will be very beneficial to you and to your golf game. May you have better golf with the Billy Casper video.